first thing I'm actually going to do is to just do a short little prayer over this little workshop, and we'll get straight into everything. Dear Heavenly Father God, as we're here gathered before your presence to discuss principles with money and with finance, I pray, Lord, that you will help us in making the right decisions, ones that will benefit us and help us to be able to use our finance to plan our finances in a way that will benefit us as you would want it to. Mighty Father God, we pray, Lord, that it will be one that is filled with focus and attention that will allow for maximizing on these principles that I'm about to present. Help me to also deliver this in a way that is comprehensive for everyone involved. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. All right, so first up, I'm going to be just very likely explaining what exactly this is about. So it's a strategy that I've also used with my team, and I've done this as a workshop / seminar with another group before. And essentially, you're going to be doing two things. You're going to be calculating your living expenses and how much it is that you will be spending on yourself per month, and how you can meet this amount of money that you are trying to maintain as basically your lifestyle. Now, this is also important for persons who are also looking to step into more of an entrepreneurial field. And the reason being is that there are opportunities that can present themselves in the form of what's also known as an incubator, where you have an opportunity to work on a project that might be 2 to 3 months long, or maybe even 4. And an incubator is, a way for you to get involved with a project that is closest to whatever sort of field you're venturing into. And if you know how much it is that you need to survive for the month and also thrive, that you can use to present towards whoever is hosting that incubator, because normally an incubator will have we'll find out how much it costs for the persons who are going to sacrifice their time away from work to be involved with this, and knowing how much they would need to cover you for those 3 months or those 4 months that you're going to be involved with it is a critical thing as well. Yeah, I see that you're a little late. No problem. So the first one that we're going to be calculating, it's worth for being okay. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is what I refer to as the income quota. Now, here you can see on my screen I have a link to this is basically an invoice generator, and we can use it to create the layout and the design and do all the calculations that is necessary for us to create what's going to be our invoice or income code, I should say. So I'm going to be sending you guys this link so that way you can follow along as well and work out what your income quota will be. So I'm pasting it in the chat in Zoom. Now I'm going to explain how this basically works. So here you can see, when you load up this link, you're going to see something like item here and quantity. You can click here to rename it. And that's what I've gone ahead to do with this one. 1, 2, 3, yeah, these. Now, when you're calculating your expenditures for your income quota, it's directly referring to all the necessary stuff that are going to be for you to take care of yourself for the month. So in essence, this is going to be like your minimum income quota, because you can work on a minimum and an average income quota, And working from a minimum income quota is usually the best way to start about this. And the reason being is that it allows for you to um, be able to pinpoint what exactly is necessary to be a part of your monthly expenditures and what's not so necessary. Because oftentimes persons tend to have a play on their bias, and that leads to them to adding a bunch of stuff that normally they wouldn't have included in this. So one of the first ones for me is the point. One of the first factors I want to point out as well is that for me, what my total amount comes up to for the month, because that's what we're calculating in the month. Now, what it comes up for me may not be the same for you. It might be that you have a lot more expenditures to cover, or you might have a lot less. And for our age group that we're all in, which is referred to as the college era, that's where persons, who are just coming out of high school or persons who are in the mid of college, there's going to be a certain expected um, amount of money that you will have to sustain yourself on for the month. And this is practically one of the best approaches that you can use to help you, especially if you are looking to offer skills or services separate from whatever job you might have, or between school and stuff like that. So I'm going to be going through just a few of mine, just to give you an example, and then you can ask somebody to volunteer, and we'll go through looking at what you have listed out and fine tune on whether or not this is, feasible, if there is something missing or something you can add to it. That sounds all right?
Yeah, man, that's a good one.
All right. So as you can see, I've already added two of them, but only list pricing on one. Now, I live with my parents. So as a result, when it comes to calculating expenditures for food, I only really have to think about like lunch throughout the day. Because at night, most nights I'm able to get dinner. So because of that, the only thing I budget for is lunch. Now I could also choose the budget to buy food to put in the house and stuff like that, but I'm just calculating based on that factor. So for me, I spend around $500 a day on food. I don't really spend a lot on food, to cover me, because that can work for me. So for 1 week, it's $2,500 that. So I'm just counting from Monday to Friday, because I don't work on weekends any at all. As much as possible, I try not to work on weekends. So I put down the 2,500 here, and we mentioned that this is going to be calculated for a month. So I put 4 weeks here, since that's one of the easiest way for me to calculate it. So basically, for a month, I'm spending $10,000 on lunch. Now, in terms of my savings, this is one of the important things that you want to always factor in. Something that many persons they fail on doing this part. In many cases, they will budget out and spend on a lot of things, and while we might be calculating for um, how much you spend, or how much what is your cost for living for that month, you also want to factor in some sort of money for savings, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to level up and trying to get into a position where you are independent, to whether it be as an entrepreneur, or you're offering services as a freelance, or whatever it may be with your skills, you have to account for evolution, changing, becoming better. And so savings is one of those critical things that you have to take into consideration when you're doing this. So I'm not gonna put a price there just yet, but I wanted you to see it, so that way you understand what I'm getting at with each of these points. So I'm going to click here, just add a new line. And this is where I'm going to now put in another one of my expenditures for my income quota. So this one that I'm going to be putting in is going to be for a bill that I cover. So I'm going to be responsible for the internet bill at my house. So for me, it's about 6,500 for it, but there's been some changes in prices and stuff. So I'm not exactly sure if it's still at 6,500. So for me, I'm just going to put 6,700 there. It's a small little change, but just in case. And since that is a bill that comes once a month, I will need to keep it at 1 week. Self-explanatory. So the next one I'm going to be adding in is grooming. Many times, even when I started doing this, I failed to account for grooming, and it's one of the things that as a guy I have to do, because within 2 weeks time I start looking like a bushwalkie. I don't want to look like a bushwalkie. So for me, grooming is essential, and I do it at least. I try to do it every 2 weeks, and it's $700 for me. So I'll put that there. Another one that I account for is that from time to time I will have outings with friends. Now, my cost on this is going to be really low, and it's because I choose to make certain sacrifices, like investing into, you know, a company, or into, something else like a future. So what I put as my expenditure for outing with friends is going to be low. For some persons, it will be higher. So having this here, along this entire process that I'm going to be showing you, if you have any questions, you can always just use the reaction button in Zoom. And once I see your hand raised there, I can just acknowledge you and you ask me any questions regarding the entire process. Sounds good?
Yeah, man. No
Yeah.
problem.
Awesome. So for me, outing with friends, I'm going to, I've seen that there's been some changes in fair pricing. So when I calculated it, it would be from my house to half a tree is about $600 for my fare now. So I already know that out of my head. So with money that I would just spend while I'm out with friends, it's going to be just $3,000. And I put the fair price in it. So 3,600 is what I would have as an outing with friends. I'm only going to do this once a month. Got to focus on some other stuff, especially with the fact that there are just some things that I do that takes up a lot of time. So even if I'm able to just go out with friends once in a blue moon, that would be great for me. So that's why it's there. So again, reiterating, with each of these, yours could be higher or lower. So the next one that I'm accounting for on this while I'm, looking at it is, well, fear. I mentioned it already. So fear starts traveling. Now, unlike most persons, I have control of how much time I need to go out of the house, for work, because most of it I can do it right here on the computer. So what I choose to do is just calculate for when I need to go out. And as I mentioned already, it's $600 for my fare to go to Halfway Tree. And I only need to leave my house every other week, 1 day a week. But that's the arrangement I made with the person that I'm working with right now. So I can just put this, it's labeled as 2 week. And it's basically because it's, just twice. Now I could just put this at the 1,200 and keep it at, 1 week there just for the sake of that. So yeah, sure. And there's another one that's going to be very important that, is going to be beneficial to especially the more entrepreneur minded persons out there. So for instance, this is going to be called your branding slash marketing. This one specifically is a huge deal because if you're going to be offering your skills to make some extra money and stuff like that, you also are going to be short on time. And if you want clients and in my case trainees to get to do all your stuff, you're going to need to invest a small amount of money, a considerable amount of money, I should say, into making it find clients for you. Because more often than not, the free time that you have, you're going to be using that to try and use your skill to make an extra dollar. And so if you're going to try and use that free time to market yourself, which you probably will have to do when you're starting out, over time, it's good to have this sort of investment in, so that way it will allow for you to do all of that. So what I'm going to be putting here for me, I'm going to be putting in $6,000 for branding and marketing based on that fact there. And for the most part, this is accounting for everything that I need as a necessity. Oh, there are a few other things like household equipments. Now, while I do live with my parents, I don't plan on staying there forever. And buying up things one by one, or investing in some little things that I feel I can make use of right now while I'm still living with them, I will save up to buy stuff like that. And so I put like probably $2,000 into that every month to just buy stuff like that until I'm able to, when I'm ready to actually move out, I already have some things that I would consider as a necessity. Um, Personally, I don't see anything else that's probably missing. Do you have anything that you think I should probably have on this list that you don't see here as a necessity? Something that you probably do every month, but it costs you something? Yes, no? Okay, silence means no. All right. Oh, okay. The search says, I'm sorry, but my internet not allowing me to be great and stay here. Oh no, I know the feeling. If you wanted to go over the last three that I just put in for clarity's sake. So yeah, I mentioned the whole fear. So just last two. So the branding and marketing, I was mentioning that this is specifically for marketing itself or whatever skill you're going to be offering. And the reason why you would want to invest this is that whatever free time you're going to be having, because most of the time you're going to have your main job or you're going to be at school. So the free time that you have, you probably be using this skill to make a little extra money. Now, when you're going to be doing the search and hunt for clients, you're going to need to have some money to invest. It's good to have some money to invest into that, so that way, you can have clients come to you while you focus on, just doing the work when they do come. So at first, you might need to, post about it manually and stuff like that. But over time, if you invest some money, you'll be able to run like Instagram ads and stuff like that, where it can start, drive traffic towards you, where you can actually, turn them into, paying customers and clients. And I mentioned that I put household equipment there as well on my list because I still live with my parents, but I don't plan to stay there for the entire time that I grow up. So I'm buying up, little things here and there that I will be using for myself, while so that when I'm ready to move out, I have my own household equipment and stuff like that that I will need once I decide to venture out and get my own place. So for me, I've covered everything for my expenditure. I could add some more stuff, but for me, there's one other thing as well. No, I play games. I like to play games. And ever so often, you know, there's a game that I play constantly, and I'll do in-app purchase. You know, I'll purchase some resources and stuff like that from the game to use. It's my way of also contributing back to other creators, because I am a creator and I understand how these processes work, and I just choose to because it's adding to my experience while playing the game. So for me, I do some game purchases, but I do not spend more than $2,000 on anything game related, unless of course my probably save for buy a console or something like that. That's a different case. But like in-app purchases and small little things like that, I have something set out for that. So back to like the savings here. I recommend, as a point of evolution, your savings should be at, you know, at least the same amount as the most expensive thing you have to account for in your list. For some persons, that might be unrealistic. So what you can do is look at the average amount that, you know, is the highest cost. And you can choose to then set that as a saving, because if you save more than you spend, then, you know, you can be assured that you are also doing something great, because you're keeping and allowing yourself to gain more while using less. So it's a great principal foundation. And for me, one of the targets that I'm trying to hit with setting up all of this is $8,000 as my savings per month. So this is my concrete foundation for my income quota. So basically, this is the amount that, you know, this is my cost for living for 1 month. I spend about $41,400 a month trying to take care of myself for a month. So is there any questions regarding this? And was there anybody like doing this while I was also explaining what I had in mind? Or do you want me to give you some time so you can write up yours?
At this moment, hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I was saying at this moment, I'm currently writing down some queries. So I will ask my questions soon after, you know, everything has been said and done. Right?
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to write up your own list. And if you feel comfortable with it, because I know some persons aren't comfortable with sharing their pricing, so I'll make sure that I put myself first. So if you're comfortable with it, I can go through it with you and point out some things that you could probably improve on to make it even better for yourself. Sounds good?
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. So I'm gonna pause.
Most definitely.
Say again?
I say most definitely sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to pause the recording for a bit. And after the 5 minutes, then we can do, you know, somebody can present and show what them work on so far, and we improve on that. It is 7:40 now. So who would want to volunteer to go first, you know, present, and let's dissect it.
Me and another mate, let me just speak up.
Say again?
Just give me 1 more minute and I'll just speak up.
All right, 1 more minute. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello again.
So I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
Maybe, just maybe, I could try So I just did my chart, right?
Okay.
And I just add the amount that I'll spend for the weeks. So week 4, so week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I realized that most of them though I don't really do. So for the and
Like which one?
else. So
Wait, you chipped out for a bit. So there was quite a bit at the ending that you said that I hadn't heard you said. Okay, let's take our connection. Make it difficult. Ready for us now, Raquel?
Yeah. Just shares and then
When
okay.
you're ready, you can share your screen.
Share. Oh, hold on. All of them here we have this one. Well, when I get to finish type of mine, but I mean,
Oh, you're gonna finish?
I guess I'll just present now because you kind of come late, so just correct me on the way, you know.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna present my screen now. All right. So this is where I'm up so far.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put in the weeks and well, my mistake was that I never take advantage of the week quantity because knowing that I can do that, I spend about on transportation, I spend about $3,000 a week, and then you're saying that I can put it to 4, so
Mm-hmm.
that calculate that for me. Food, I spend about um roughly well, I carry lunch most of the time, but sometimes during the week I probably spend like well, not even 2 grand, but 1.5
Yeah.
me, and we go for 4 weeks. Sure. All right, and then savings is a once in a thing. Can we get paid once a month? So we try to put on 15.
Okay.
Um, tools and equipment also 1 week. The thing is that I'm going to the engineering field and we don't want to finish UTech not having anything. So
Yeah.
how should I put on a thing? Corona. Why this a 2 grand a month? Cause I'm not out and travel as I don't know if I should put traveling and outings because I don't know. I don't know if that was a good decision.
You can separate them. You can separate them.
Okay. But yeah, about 2 grand thereabouts. Sorry about that. This zeros should be there. 2,000 to musical equipment. There's a man who love music, so
Yeah.
if I have to buy a headphone, some equipment, and I probably need and so on. And also, I'm a school student, so you know, my fees at the moment right now. So sometimes I try to put on a $10,000 a month thereabout. But the most expensive thing right now is savings and also transportation come work all the way at town, so I kill that. If there's anything I need to fix, so I, I what did I say? I don't know if it's an income plan should be at the top here, so I made it wrong.
Income quota.
Quota.
Yeah.
And then you put the year or whatever, something like that, right?
No, you don't have to put the year. But you can if you want to.
So we spell quota.
Yeah.
Alright. So and yeah, I think I don't know anything else. Their mentor.
Yeah. So I see you're missing grooming now for years, like I did the first time.
Who- Oh, which part? Which part that?
Grooming, like when we got barber, get yourself trim.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yup.
yeah, yeah. Facts, facts. Yeah, Mr. Man. You don't know?
Yeah, man.
Look nice. Get me?
You know?
Yeah. Mikey charged me like $700.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there like twice a month. So 700. I'm gonna go there twice for the month. So I can just chop a two there. So I'm gonna spend about 1400. Let me think about anything else. Geez, please. Uh, think, think.
Instead of thinking about something else, we probably want to add to it.
Yeah. What else you think? Because me there look on your list, but me
Oh.
you did take it down when me there take out some other things. So me there try compare it to see.
Okay. Yeah, man. And you don't have any bills or you responsible for?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
so nothing anymore for bills. Oh, yeah. For persons, I probably the first one I know this, but me as a man, me not like to press. So I can pay somebody for press my clothes. So yeah, I don't. Sorry if I kind of sound bad, but that's me, guys. I hate it. It's the worst chore ever, me just hate it. It just sick me. Okay, so I dedicate like $2,000 a month to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the person said they want a raise, so at $3,000 them said they want. So I go put it at three now. So yeah. So 3,000 I forgot start pay them. So thing go. Well, yeah, that's just me, guys. I don't like to press screws. I hate it.
Totally get it.
Yeah, I hate it. And I think that is how my thing kind of balance out right now.
Mm.
Based on how things stay. But yeah, that's how. Yeah, I think these are the necessities. Travel to work, food, I save tools and equipment. So I can put on musical equipment, school fees, the outings. There'll be times where I don't spend the outings because sometimes things don't go on. Grooming up, there'll be that time we miss a week due
Yeah.
to work. But this is like the basic thing, which right.
Okay. So are you looking to like offer any skills as a service?
Other services. As in something me I gonna get paid for?
Yeah.
Service? Yeah. If Corona go, I'm probably start teach my keyboard class.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add that.
No, you wouldn't add that in here, so.
Oh, more okay.
Because reason why I asked is that um, most persons that would be offering a skill as a service, they would use what's it called again? They would be marketing their brand, so like running ads on Instagram and stuff like that. So, based on the type of skill that you're choosing to offer, you would either, need to or not need to, based on how easy it is that you can grasp your type of market. And if it is that you'll be offering like music tutoring, most of those stuff you can get that done through the communities that you're already associated with. So choosing to have money dedicated to marketing is more of an optional thing based on how your connections stay, but it always works out for you because you can spend less time investing into marketing that stuff as well. So if you want to reach a wider audience, you can always add that to your list.
I see. Understood. Understood. All right. So
This should basically be it then.
yeah, this have a bit. Yeah. Fact.
All right.
Yeah.
So that cost, that total that you see there, that is your cost of living. You know, that's what it's going to be. Or at least that's part of the aim. You know, maintaining yourself for the month and also improving for the next month coming. So now that you've done that, um, you can save this. So if you scroll up here where it says bill to, you can just put your name there because um, for you to be able to save this invoice, it needs somewhere that you can send it to the address, basically. And on the right hand side, once you finish, you're gonna see be able to highlight as download. And if you're satisfied with everything, you can click on download and download to your computer and stuff like that.
And where is it?
Oh, I think you probably have to put the field above where you put in a name, where it says who
Yeah.
is this invoice from. You can just copy and put your name here.
Oh,
From your past self to your future self.
all right. Gotcha. Who is this? Oh, future.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I'm about sailing.
All right. So you can download that.
Yeah. Download PDF, right? E-invoice. PDF or e-invoice, no matter.
PDF. You can download this PDF, since that's that one more universal. You can send it to your phone, you can open it in your browser, you know?
All right.
All right. So now you can stop share screen. Let me show you, what we're going to be the second half of this, which, is going to be a big play on everything. And this one is referred to as your work quota. At least that's how I state it. So, we come here, our second tab open. The same address. So you can open a new tab and load the same link. And I'm just going to put in my name there. Add up a little bit from you. So now this is where it gets really interesting and where reality sets tend to sink in for most persons because this is where they get to reevaluate as well if their income quota is what it should be or if it is okay and reality as to how achievable this will be. So I'm gonna rename this from item. Let's click there. I'm gonna rename it to my services, because that's what I'm going to provide mostly, services. And I'm gonna rename quantity to trainees because most of the services that I provide has to do with the training persons. Now we're gonna keep rate and amount as they are. I'm going to write in the first one. So at the moment I partner with an academy and I train students for them. So the course that I'm currently training them for, it's called Game Design Explorations. That's the name of it. And at the moment, I'm supposed to have 2 trainings and one session. How I do it is that every time I hit the 4th session with the trainees, that's when I would get paid for the upcoming month. So I'm usually paid in advance for 4 sessions. And after those 4 sessions end, then they pay for the next 4 sessions. I will continue sessions. So one session is supposed to be $2,500. And I have this over the course of um, a month. So it's one session per week. So that makes it $10,000. Yeah, so with 2 trainees, that's $20,000 there as one of the services that I'm providing. Now, I'm going to also be looking to get some more voice acting work done for the upcoming month. So this one is more of me getting clients. So this is a voice over 30-second commercial read. Now I specify commercial read because I have different types of voiceover work that I can do. Yeah, voiceover for animations, voiceover for documentaries, voiceover for commercials in my case. So that's what I'm going to be pushing for. Now, for 30 seconds of voiceover work, it's going to be about $25,000 for me, offering for 30 seconds of audio. So at the moment, you can see here where it says balance view, that it hasn't reached the amount that I need to sustain myself. So I know that I cannot just try and get one client. I have to either get one more person to train so I can meet my income quota, or I try to get one more client from a voiceover read. And so I'm taking the gamble to say, all right, I need to get 2. So if I get 2 read, I know that, yeah, I'm now able to actually meet, my income quota, which is $46,000. So this is the amount that I need to take care of me. And with my services provided, this is the amount that I would be able to generate. There are a couple of other services that I plan to provide as well, but you can clearly see that I am able to sustain myself because I'm making more than I need. So for me, where I mentioned that I am going to be using branding and marketing, ads and stuff like that to help get me clients. I know that from the moment I have 2 persons for this course and I get 2 clients from voice acting, I already know out of my head that I have already meet my income quota. So this is also how you can visually, see what amount of work, how much amount of clients you would realistically need to get, to make sure that you can sustain it. So for persons who have a full-time job, they will have their job there with, just the amount that they get paid per month. And with that amount showing, then they can put the skill that they want, the skill or service that they want to provide, and see how much with that skill, how much persons would I realistically need to get in order for me to meet that kind of, monetary, to meet that quota that I need, right? So when it comes to my voice acting, this one is a lot trickier, especially within Jamaica, where most persons who want to get the voice acting and aren't working with a big company will be very, very hesitant towards trying to get any sort of voice acting work done at $25,000 for just 30 seconds of audio, when this is also as a service to them because it's a lot more expensive than that. But there are certain values and aspects towards certain business that persons will just not get at the moment. So know that this is going to be a big risk to me, to try and get 2. I can probably get 1, but not necessarily 2. So I'm going to be adding another service that I provide just to make sure that I can make up for this. And that's purely out of the reasoning that I have something else I can offer. So if this is something you can offer, you can put it, because you can always rotate your options. If you have more than one skill that you can offer as service, you can put them there, even if you already meet the standard here. Because while you might meet the standard here, when you go out to actually get these clients, some are going to come easier than some. So you want to basically account for those instances where it's going to be easier. So that way, if when you offer this service, if it's not there, if you can't meet that, you have the other one they're offering to help, pick up the slack, essentially. And so for me, the one that I'm putting here is arc base. This is a skill where I'm able to recreate buildings in 3D, so I can work with an architecture firm to help them, produce these kind of visual aid to their clients, so that way they can see what these buildings look like. So for one project, in essence, I would be charging about $35,000 for one building. And so, if I get one of these projects, I'm able to fit in for many of the other stuff. So yeah, that's how the work quota is set up. I'm going to, I see that Charisse is back. So she was asking something. I'm going to tend to her and then pick up with, where we just left off with the work quota. Sounds good?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, Charisse. So that
Hi.
the internet not playing fair with you.
Not at all. I'm having some issues, But I want to share something.
Okay.
So I was saying earlier on before the internet bumped me out, I was saying that for the game purchases, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a game person, so I'll fill that in with something else, right? So I'm saying that for most of the expenses, like some of the stuff that my parents would do, I actually take that out. So I'm just focusing on the one that I do out of my money, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So like for food and lunch, that's for work, right?
Mhm.
So when when you're at work, you have to budget out that. So you budget out that for the month or for it based on how you earn your salaries, right?
Yeah.
So you basically do that. And for your savings also, if it's per month or whenever. For the bills, that's all for me. Opening not now and then. Um Fare and traveling. Yeah. So I just do a rough check of everything. And my total that I got, the total I got was 27,500.
Wow.
Yes, and I think that's for the month. When I take out the ones that my parents, cover, I'm just
Yeah.
focusing on myself now. So that's yeah.
Okay.
But if I was living by myself,
Mhm.
but then like if it was last month or before, where I was paying rent and all that, wow, I think the expense will be much more, much more, much more.
Yeah.
But no, I'm back at my
Get it. So you
you know that
also have your school fee added on it, because that's something you would want to account for as well.
like we actually cover the bills and stuff. So that's all that I got. That's 20. On that bump, I don't really know.
Wait, can I say that again?
As actually where you were, or we're actually I just heard it.
Oh, wow. Come far off again. Oh gosh. All right. Dom, you following along? Any questions? Anything at all?
Yeah, I'm following along. No, I don't have any question. Yeah.
So you worked on your income quota already?
No, I never do it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any income, so I didn't do it.
Second?
I don't have an income, so I don't do it.
Okay, okay. So Daniel, for you, you had got bumped off for a bit. Is there anything you would need me to, clarify on for you?
Yeah, all right, so just two questions really, nothing too difficult, because it was pretty straightforward when I came on, so glad I didn't miss too much. My first question would be, hold on, let me look. Yeah, so my first question would be, um, as um, yeah, my first question would be, um, upgrading into the work world and so on, as income may raise and etc. Is it good to have, could these be used like for subdivisions? All right, so let's say reach a case now where I have one where say bills, but would it be wise to split the bills and say water, light, or it really not matter, just bills, really?
I mean, I think it would be wise to split the bill, and the reason why is, how sometimes bills go up or might come down, and so just for visual clarity for yourself, it's all right. You're dedicating this much to paying for the water bill, this much to dedicating to the light bill, this much to the internet. It's easier management because you know exactly how much you divide up for each of the bills instead of having them collective and then dividing them up in a different way. If you get me.
Get you. And then lastly,
So your second question was what now?
all right, so lastly now, second question is relating to the work quota now. All right. Would all right, in that case then, well, that was pretty straightforward, but just a simple question. In that case then, that means that is just a rundown of all incomes.
Yeah, yeah.
Every single one way, every income put together, and then so both now you compare them to say expenses and income, basically.
Yeah, basically.
I see. All right, I am satisfied.
So in any future cases where you might, you know, do an interview as well, you can, based on knowing how your expenses stay from an income quota, you know already the minimum amount of money you need. So that way, if you are asked to make an offer in an interview, sometimes they do this, and in those spur moments, you can give very inaccurate pricing for like how much you want to be paid, and so you might price yourself too low. So by having even these documents, when you go towards your next job and they make an offer, you are already clear on whether or not this is going to be feasible for you, or if you're going to need to offer services just to make the amount of money that you would need to cover yourself for the month. So there's a benefit to a street.
I see. I see.
So once again, welcome back, Cherise.
This is crazy. Thank you.
So if anything, you can type your question in the chat and I can answer them, just for over clarity's sake and stuff like that. So for So this was basically what I had, prepared, and it's it's a very simple construct. You can build onto this, and the thing I also want to, keep you reminded on is whenever time you're using any sort of systems, keep them as simple as possible. Because as you continue to climb, they're going to inevitably get more complex. And if you always try to make them simplified, it reduces the chance of you breaking discipline in trying to, carry out all of these things, because it feels less overwhelming. It feels a lot more straightforward, and you're from point A to point B. You can see very clearly how things should progress if you are doing them right. So as you continue to use this, evolve it as you see fit, because even from this, example and exercise that we did, you're able to, identify what is more important for you to include, what is less important. And as a result, you can already make a good, decisive judgment on your necessities, which means that when you're ready to level up on this, it's going to be, ridiculously easy for you to do. And as a point of note, if you're able to maintain the income quota and your work quota for 4 straight months, you can then now create, about your average quota, for say, include more wants. So you have your needs now based on this one that we did. And if you're able to, for 4 months, consistently meet these standards, you can then create your average quotas for both your income quota and work quota, where it will have not only your needs, but more of your wants. So you can start to enjoy more of what you are doing, because you know that you are able to meet them and step up the game in terms of how much you can, take on. Because like I said, you want your lifestyle to be in a bracket that you can manage, something that will be a lot easier for you to maintain. And this is a good way to track that, because as you continue to level up, so is your, ability to go from being a person working full time as a business, with a business and offering service on the side, to eventually doing it more of a whether it be a part-time service, or you can start switching over to becoming your main source of income and working as a freelancer or an entrepreneur. So anything that you'd want to add or share?
No, it's actually okay. Someone saying something?
No.
Hello? Okay. I was actually writing something in the chat because it pumped me out by internet. That's allowing it to be great again. So I was saying, I think this is actually a good idea. It's a good thing, especially for young people in our age group that are planning on achieving certain goals by the end of 5 years or whatever time it might be. Or I think it helps to know that you're budgeting out a certain amount of money and how much you're earning and what to put to use and what is not good now or what you don't need at a particular time. And you keep adding. So it's like, especially now, adulthood, every time you get a certain amount of money, it's like a bill always come for some always happen. And when you have planned for something else, it's like, oh my God, I planned on doing this month, and then I have to change and wait till next month. So it's because of this whole adulthood thing, and we have bills and responsibilities. I think it really helps us, and other persons to come and we can share it with other friends, other youths, because clearly you're doing a good thing. I really like the idea. I really like this. And it can actually be like a chart with where our to-do list in your house, in your room somewhere. I don't know. So you can have it, and each time you can add, remove something. And I think it's really something good, and that it will help because you'll know how to spend, and it will help you to discipline yourself and how to save and what to save towards and what to plan and accomplish at the end of a particular time. Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. Thank you for sharing that too. All right. So you have something you wanted to say as well, Raquel?
Oh, tell me what Sherry said. I said, as we grow older, so that's a good thing for, put together. So that's basically like Sherry's, yeah, Sherry put everything together well nice. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So on that note, I've covered everything. We've reached the end of, this seminar workshop, mini workshop. And I just want to thank you for your time, for coming out and being a part of this. And I hope that you will also, within your peer groups and stuff like that, share this with them and show them how they can utilize it. And if you know somebody who's very business minded and want to be venturous in being an entrepreneur and stuff like that, you can show them this as a way that they can utilize it to give themselves an advantage. Um, I I have, in a sad kind of way, never worked for another company since I've left high school. I've mostly been doing work by myself or a partner with, other persons and do work with them. Uh, it has its drawbacks because it also means that there are certain experiences that um, is necessary as a company that I haven't experienced, which makes me a bit naive in some of the endeavors that I chase. So one of the goals that I have going into 2022 is to work under a company for these kind of experience and exposure to build on. So this is based on trial and error, something that I've experienced, and I see how I can find a good balancing point to get others to be full-time creatives and entrepreneurs. Because more often than not, especially within my field, it's upwards of 80 to 90% of persons don't do this as their full-time job. It's always on the side. So do as you feel will help you to make this work the best way possible. That's all I have.
Wow.
All right, so